Thank you. Good afternoon.
Wow, good.
All good.
Hey, thank you for joining us. Good to see you guys again. So my first question is for Sammy. Sammy, as a veteran leader, how did this team get better in the offseason? And on a personal level, how did this offseason's experiences in Perth prepare you for what the coming WNBA campaign has to offer?
The first question, how did we as a team get better? I think, adding some of the pieces that we've added in Dolson, bringing in Han, I think, getting some pieces back as well will really help us get better. I also think, there were players that were able to, like B and DD, they were able to stay here and really work on just player development stuff, getting better. Players that needed to get healthier, are getting healthy. I just think everyone really just took the time to do what they needed. So hopefully all of those things combined will really make us more prepared. And then obviously, we are bringing in a really experienced staff that I think will help us too. In terms of personally, my experience in Perth, I had a really great time with that team. I was able to play with some other WNBA players as well over there. And I think playing against other WNBA players too. So I think I was able to compete against some really great talent and continue to just work and develop on things individually as well.
Appreciate that. Thank you. My next question is for both Michaela and Didi. You each played major roles as rookies in New York's playoff push last season. What's the best piece of advice you can offer to the coming draft class, particularly in Niara and Lorella, who have both been spending time around the facility during training camp? I know Sika's not here yet.
Yeah, I think that our rookies have been, we have Lorella here with us right now, just been really great addition to our team so far. And I would say just be really confident. I think that's something that was in my favor last year. I wanted to just come out here and be the best team I could be. But when I had my chance and my opportunity, I was really, really confident in what I had done, the work I'd done prior to, being drafted. And it was really, really coachable. So that's kind of something I would tell, Lorella, and always trying to be in her ear to just give her that confidence that she's okay. That we're learning a lot of new things right now and that she's really, really growing in, the 4 days that we've been practicing so far.
Didi, anything to add to that?
Yeah, kind of just piggyback. Confidence always kind of can set you from one level to the next, but just honestly being able to absorb all the, things that you're learning at once, and being able to communicate on a different level. I think that helped me last year, just being that loud person that can talk. Because if I'm wrong, they're gonna tell me I'm wrong. I'm like, red. They're like, no, Didi, it's not red. But it kind of helped me a lot, being able to be the vocal person that I am and having them correct me as much as they could.
Thank you for that. And my last question is for all three of you. Michaela, congratulations on your new partnership with Shara Bundy. What drew you to this opportunity? And to all three of you, because you all have your endorsements, I believe, Didi, you're with Quest. Sammy, you're with Hoops Heaven, I believe. So what drew you to this opportunity, and how has the business and marketing side in the women's hoops game changed over the past few years as you've engaged in these new opportunities?
For me, I was introduced to Cherry Bundy when I was at UCLA. It was just something that we used as a resource to help information, help us sleep. And I use it personally because I just was sleeping, I was really, really sore sometimes after practice. And so I was introduced to it about 4 years ago. And so they kind of reached out to my agent and I kind of saw the vision that they wanted for me. And I saw the other athletes that they wanted to kind of initiate their vision with as well. And so I was kind of on board. I was really excited that I was able to get that opportunity. And I think marketing for women's basketball is so important. Obviously, the on-court stuff is super important as well, but half of what we do is really, really geared to the marketing piece. And I think that's so important for us to be able to get our names out there, kind of have people see the value of women's basketball past the court. And it really, really benefits us. So I'm really grateful to be able to have those opportunities.
I hate going after Nick. Same technically, but yeah, Quest was introduced to me, same as Macon College. That was all over Baylor. I feel like in our lounge, we had Quest bars everywhere. And so getting drafted, it was actually something they saw while I was getting drafted. Our draft was at home. And so they saw that I had a Quest bar during the draft. And that's kind of how that fell in my lap, actually. So I was real grateful for that. And I'm so grateful for their never-ending love that they show me on the court and off the court. And I think that's always good for, like Mick said, women's basketball players to have the marketing that we have and the interest that they have in us, because it can set us apart and it's drawing fans to us from different angles. So I mean, I'm trying to capitalize on every marketing deal that I can off the court.
It's also the greatest commercial I've ever seen.
The big bar.
Greatest commercial. I'll just, the only thing I'll add to that is, I think, yeah, like they're both saying, the visibility and investment, I think for us and in us is really critical. No matter what kind of level, obviously like Quest and Cherry Bunny, those are amazing. In Perth, Hoop 7 is a really great just business there that has, wanted to support me and sponsor me. And so that was really, really amazing just because they did want to invest, even if it is a bit smaller time. So like, I think any of those opportunities where someone wants to partner with you and it's something that you actually enjoy, like both of them are saying they really love those products. That's really cool.
Appreciate your time and insight, all three of you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Miles Early.
Hi, Sammy, Dee Dee, and Mick. Good to see all of you. I'll just go down the line. Sammy, you've obviously worked with Sandy more than anyone else currently in the building, given your time on the Opals. As a veteran leader on this team, how has your experience with her system benefited you so far in camp?
Yeah, obviously I have a little bit more just familiarity with some of the plays, some of her terminology, which I think, yeah, definitely has helped me come into this, I think, with probably a level of comfort that maybe not everybody has. So that's good. And hopefully I think it can just lend itself to I can then help other people and just sort of be that conduit between her and everybody else in terms of learning and all of that kind of stuff. Did I answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Great, thank you.
Did I? Great.
Dee Dee, you were in attendance at the WNBA draft last week, which is the first one in person since 2019. And last year, of course, you had the nerves of not knowing where or when you'd be selected and what city you'd be going to. So how was the experience this time around without all of that added stress?
Oh my God, it was amazing. It was like, it was something I got to experience. Like, I felt like I put myself in the drafts position. I'm like, okay, I didn't get the in-person draft, so I'm going to pretend like I'm getting drafted this time. But it was a lot less chaotic, not like knowing that I'm already here and I'm not getting drafted. So I think that was the beauty in it. And I also got to get to know a lot of people. It was a lot of networking opportunities in that arena, wherever I was at, whatever it was, a building. It was a lot of networking opportunities. So it was fun. And I really capitalized on it while I was there.
You're doing great.
Great, thank you. And Michaela, you really did it all in your first WNBA offseason. First, you did the surgery and rehab, and then local community engagement where you stayed around, and then you went overseas. So just what were some of the highlights of this offseason?
Me.
First off, congrats on your engagement, Miles.
Go Miles!
Really
Oh my
cute.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you all.
And I would say, yeah, probably, I was able to spend time with B and Dee quite a bit. Unfortunate situation, but, it ended up being really, really good for me to get that break, just kind of like rest and renewal after the season. And then, my experience in Spain was, it was
Special.
It was special. It was a special time. But, I think that having that experience was good for me because I was able to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. My team competed against some of the best teams in Europe. And so to get that experience, even if it wasn't always on the court, was really, really fun for me. And, like I said, it was a special time. I'm grateful for it. I learned a lot from it. I think that I could take some of the things that I learned from Spain to here and eventually elevate my game.
Thank you all so much and good to see you all.
Go Miles.
Jackie Kyle.
Hello all, thank you for being here. It's good to see you. So I'll go from left to right from my end. So Sammy and then Michaela to end. So Sammy, when we spoke to Jonathan and Sandy on Friday, they alluded to how this roster is going to aim at approaching the backup point guard position. If that comes from you or maybe Dee Dee, take me through as a veteran on this team, you look to sort of develop this year as well, and how maybe you look to take on some of those backup point guard duties.
Yeah, I mean, I think I did that last year a bit too. So I guess just continuing that. I'll go wherever they need me to go, if it's in that role, if it's in the two, if it's whatever. But yeah, I've been developing that for probably a while now. So yeah, I'll keep doing that.
Right, right. I'm also curious about what you make of the team deciding to not necessarily fill up training camp to the full 15 player group, and why you think that was a smart idea to try to just focus in on, a smaller group.
I really love it. Obviously, like, I think it's great for people to get, for as many people to get the opportunity to come to camps and experience that. I think that's awesome. But I also think there's something really special about bringing in kind of the core group that you're going to need. And, maybe only having one or two, that are competing or fighting for these kind of final spots. And I just think it keeps it close knit. It keeps it so that we're really building and developing these relationships that are going to be, really paramount throughout the course of the year. It's tougher, I think, sometimes when you're doing that with, maybe 17 or 18 players and, maybe every day, every second day, people are getting cut. That can be tough as well to experience as a whole. So I think this way we're all really getting to know each other already. We're developing chemistry on the court. There's less people in and out. And hopefully that'll be something that really, come game one, we're, a little bit ahead of the game in terms of, that camaraderie.
I appreciate that. I really do. And the final one for me for you, Sammy, and then I'll stop and move on. Sandy talked a lot about defensive non-negotiables. And so I remember in training camp last year, that was a focus as well. You all talked about people or opponents feeling you all on defense. But I'm curious as to, what makes you confident this year that this team will be a much better defensive team than it was last season?
Yeah, I think we've all individually grown defensively, I think, and learned. I think we've learned a lot from last season. And I think that we will bring our experiences from last season into this season. I think we'll be grittier, we'll be tougher, we'll know ourselves better. But we've each developed, I think, from last year. So hopefully we're all taking those steps forward. The pieces that we're adding, I think, will help us defensively as well. And then hopefully schemes and the things that we're doing, and again, building this chemistry from day one, and carrying the chemistry over from last year, like we should just be, I think, that much better already. And then we're just going to continue to get better that way. So hopefully I feel pretty confident that we will take those steps that we need.
Thank you. Now, Didi, for you, you're someone who really benefited from how seriously the staff last year valued and approached play development. So I'm curious.
Player development. Okay.
Do you need me to speak up?
No, it cut out. Continue on that.
No worries. So I'm curious as to how you've seen this new staff approach player development leading into your second season.
Yeah, I definitely benefited a lot from, Dustin Gray last year and his patience with me. And it's the same this year. I mean, Olaf does a great job. Zach is doing a great job. I had the benefit, like they said earlier, of staying here for off season. And so I got to, get to know them and connect with them a little bit before training camp. And I think they're taking the same approach. They're really huge on player development, whether that be me and shooting or me getting to the goal. I mean, they do a really good job at, breaking down my individual workouts and applying it to me. So I'm just grateful that they're, patient with me as well as last year when they were patient with me.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. I'm curious also about what advice you may have for Niara. She's a player who we gather won't be playing this year, but, needs to take the time to get healthy, and you're someone who came to New York still trying to get healthy from, I think it was a hamstring injury from the Elite Eight. I'm curious as to maybe how you got through that and what type of advice you can impart to her on how to sort of stay the course.
Just that, stay the course and stay patient. I feel like it's easy to rush yourself because it's the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen next. And honestly, just take care of yourself and put your body first, because at the end of the day, that's what's making the money. So if you come out here half-assed, and then you won't make it.
Thank you, Didi. I appreciate that. Michaela, for you. So I spoke to Beck Allen during the off season, and she and I talked about some of the reasons why she re-signed with New York. And she recalled a moment when she saw you in Spain or maybe wherever it was overseas, And she said that was something that helped her realize that she wanted to come back to New York.
Aw.
What do you, yeah, I know. I heard it and it was very sweet.
That made my heart happy.
Yeah, I thought it was me.
So I'm Michaela, I'm curious as to what you remember from that moment and if you felt any sort of like relief level when you heard that Beck was officially coming back.
Yeah, so I actually had the opportunity to compete against Beck's team twice, 2 or 3 times, because we were both in the Spanish league. And so just before the game, it was really nice to be able to rekindle and reunite a little bit. So we were talking before the game, and I was just keeping up with her about, I knew free agency was coming up. I knew that was a big time for her since she never kind of experienced it before. So I was kind of just asking her questions about it, not really pressuring her, just like, what are your thoughts? What are you feeling? And she was kind of updating me as far as like, oh, I have a meeting with the coaches here and whatever else. I don't know what's going to happen. And I was just like, okay, well, I hope you stay in New York. But if not, like, you have to do what's best for you. So those are the conversations we kind of had. And I saw her a second time, and that was after she had signed to New York. And so just kind of all love, just competing against her. I'm really glad she was able to come back. And I'm also grateful I was able to have that impact on her. I'm glad she's back. I can't wait till she is able to arrive back in the States.
Brilliant. And final one, and then I'll stop here. Michaela, I just wanted to get your read on Jocelyn Willoughby, and how she's looked, as she's someone who I remember last season, the staff sort of said that, the two of you have a very similar game.
I think that Jocelyn's doing a great job. I try to do my best to check in with her because I know that nobody wants to go through an injury like that. And that was a really hard time for her, but not only her, also the team, to see somebody like that go down, who's very vocal, who was a leader on our team up to that point and even still was after she was injured. And so I think she's adjusting really well. Obviously there's like a curve. She just got back, but I think she's doing a really good job, being really vocal still, really defending the ball really, really well. And so I'm happy for her. I'm happy she's back.
Lovely. Thank you all. Good to see you.
Great. Thank you all for joining us. We'll send a copy of the recording shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I get a